Hey, welcome to Shelving Company. Today we're going to show you how to use the tools, or train you how to use the tools, build a shelf, and perform a quality check. Let's get started. Hello, my name is Shahid, and I'll be explaining how to use your safety equipment and tools today for building a shelf. So first, you want to start off with your gloves. Optional, but recommended. Next, you want to put on your safety goggles. This is not optional, it's required. After this, you now have your wrench and your screwdriver, your nut, I'm not sure if you can see that, your nut, and your screw. So first, we want to start off by putting the screw inside the designated hole of the leg. Then we want to lightly tighten the nut onto the screw. Next, we want to take the wrench, lock it into the nut so as to hold it in place. And lastly, we want to screw it in with the screwdriver. Once you do that, the screw is nice and tight on the leg, and you can call it a day. Now we will explain how to use and set up the pneumatic screwdriver. So first, you want to secure it here by pulling this down, inserting it, letting it go, get nice and tight. And after that, we want to pull this little lever over here to allow air to flow through the system. And our pneumatic screwdriver is ready to be used, in which case it will be used to secure the first 6 nuts onto the jig for our shelf.
Hi, this is the workspace. I'll be walking you through it. So first, I'm going to go through our tools. Here we have our socket wrench. We have 2 of them, one for each worker. Then we also have our screwdriver, electric in this case. Again, 2 of them, one for each worker, with a size 2 Phillips head, which is the same size for our screws and our nuts. And again, we have 2 sets, one for each worker. And then this is our jig. So our jig is made so that we can put back legs on it, like this. We have 4 legs, 4 braces, and 4 or 5 shelves. Make sure that when you're putting this on, the hole is facing the back. So it looks like this. And as you're building your shelf, if you realize that a particular part is damaged, such as this leg, you can switch it out for a leg that has no damage. Just be clear about quality. Additionally, we also have a pneumatic socket wrench which conveniently hangs from the tool. And it is used to tighten the 6 screws that are on the jig. Once you're done, you can put it back on.
Now that you have your tools and you're familiar with the workspace, it's time to start working. At Shelf It here, we use our proprietary jig tool to assist you in the shelf building process. The assembly process is a 2-worker job. Worker number 1 is the worker on the left, and worker number 2 is the worker on the right. To begin the process, 6 screws are placed on the number 2 Phillips bits on the jig. Next, the 3 shelves are placed in the shelf slots. Make sure that the holes in the middle of the shelves are facing upward. Leave the shelves approximately 1 inch from the bottom of the slot. Next, place 1 leg over the 3 screws on the jig. Pull the shelves down the remaining inch so that they are over the screws as well. The next step is to grab a nut and begin to turn it on the screw. The pneumatic wrench can be used to tighten these 6 nuts. As a reminder, the pneumatic wrench is located in a holder on the jig next to worker number 1. The middle shelf is attached to the 13th hole of the legs, but don't worry, our jig will line them up for you to take the guesswork out of it. The side screws are inserted and tightened next. On the top and bottom side screws, side braces are also attached. The side braces should be placed inside the leg, between the leg and the shelf. Next, the back legs are attached to the shelves. Both the top screws and the side screws can be attached at the same time. After the back legs are attached, it's time to attach the backing and secure the side braces. Worker number 2 will insert the back and screw it into place with the help of worker number 1 as necessary. Then, worker number 2 will screw the side braces into the back legs. Worker number 1's process is slightly different. Worker number 1 lines up the side braces first and then puts the back piece in. The side braces and back share a screw on worker number 1's side. Worker number 1 can then finish tightening the remaining back screws. Worker number 2 attaches the plastic feet to the bottom of the shelf. The shelf is now complete. Both workers now grab the shelf and pull it out of the jig. The shelf is now ready for a quality check from the quality assurance engineer. The QA engineer checks the shelf first by visual inspection to ensure that all pieces are installed. The assembly goes through a light shaking process to ensure that all the screws and bolts are fastened securely. Finally, a 15-pound weight is dropped on each shelf to ensure that they can withstand the force that our customers will put on them shortly. And there you have it. One Shelf It Here shelf is complete and ready for the showroom. Feel free to re-watch this video if you are still figuring out the process. All training videos are always available on the company intranet. Your onboarding trainer will now walk you through the process in person and answer any questions you have. Now it's your turn to go build it yourself.